I'm Michael Story. I'm here to explain what our Bible End Time Toolkit is. Firstly, it's available as a free download from our website. You'd all be aware that there are many different ideas and versions surrounding the return of Christ. How is it possible to verify which details, which, if any, version is correct or not? What about the preterist point of view, which is that the return of Christ and most Matthew 24 events have already transpired? To answer this, let's see how a collection of Bible scriptures, the space shuttle, and the return of Christ have something in common. What is the Bible End Time Toolkit? What does it do? And why do we need one? We need a system or a method to verify any idea at all on the end time. How can we check the details for the return of Christ? A checklist is a way that will sift out a lot of the flotsam on this subject. This is where the space shuttle comes in. You would all be aware of the millions of dollars that goes into the pre-launch verification system prior to a launch. If there were even the hint of a problem, they would not proceed. If in the checklist there was an unaccounted tool that could be floating somewhere on board the shuttle, the mission would be aborted. Everything that should be there is accounted for. Anything that should not be there must be dealt with also. We need to be just as particular when we are thinking about the return of Christ. We are told over and over to be very careful with our facts. Take nothing for granted is the strong advice. The Bible End Time Toolkit is a simple concept. This is not rocket science. Simply take every event to do with the return of Christ from the whole Bible and use them as a checklist. We use events since events can be used to place on a timeline. Wherever it says in the Bible words to the effect, "In that day the Lord shall be king over all the earth," it will be referring to an end time event. And those verses start as early as Deuteronomy in the Old Testament. The launch of a spaceship is one analogy, but here's another. These are all the parts of a clock. Every single piece must be present and in its correct position if the clock is to work. Nothing extra can be forced into the works or it will not go. Every piece from the Bible must be present and correct, with no extra bits added and none left out. Our toolkit is a collection of 200 scriptures from the whole Bible that covers the day of the Lord and the return of Christ. All these events must fit somewhere or the picture is not complete. Something has been left out of the equation. So here we have the first use for the toolkit. If any account of the return of Christ cannot fit all the relevant pieces into the document, then it is wrong. That version is not Christ's version if it will not agree with His word. Let's repeat that concept. If we do not use all of the information Christ gives us in His word and apply it in a coherent fashion, then we do not have the picture Christ wants us to see. This is a very easy test to apply. Take all the cards or scriptures from the toolkit and see where and how they apply to the version being tested. See how many events they cannot accommodate and how many contradictions there would be if they were to apply the full version. This will immediately show you the strengths and weaknesses of whatever you're studying. Here is another use for the toolkit. Try your own variations to test your understanding of the scriptures, either on your own or as a joint Bible study with others. Take the cards, lay them out, and see how you can make a coherent picture with all the scriptures in place. The individual cards allow you to shuffle them into different scenarios to test a theory. Become a Bible detective and learn to work out where the contradictions are. This is great for group studies. Start with a very basic timeline, just a beginning, a middle, and an end, and place the scriptures according to where you think that event will take place. An outline will emerge, and if it is not correct, obvious contradictions will become apparent. A third use is to just become familiar with the relevant scriptures, once again, either for yourself or in a group session. This Bible End Time Toolkit is a completely free download as a PDF in two forms. One is as a Word document of the scriptures only. The second is the printable PDF you can take to a copy shop and get all 200 color-coded cards as a set. The color coding is according to subject. For instance, some of them are on church, some are on Israel, one color is Babylon, another color is the beast, etc. Even though we give you the full information free, and you can see it on your screen for free, if you want them printed as cards and you live in the UK, it might be simpler just to send to us for a full set. All the information is available at the end of this program.